Hi guys and girls, today we're doing sketching exponential graphs. Here we have an exponential graph question. Okay, find the equation of the asymptote and the y-intercept for each of the following, hence sketch the graph and state its domain and range. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start with the y-intercept, just because that's the bit that's a little bit easier to calculate. Okay, so for question 3a, the y-intercept is sort of like when x equals 0. Okay, so here we've got y equals 2. I'm going to put a little 0 where the x is to tell me that I've got to calculate when that equals 0. And 0 minus 1. Okay, so now my next step is just to go y equals 2 to the minus 1, because the 0 minus 1 equals minus 1, and 2 to the minus 1 is a half. So y equals 1/2. Okay, and that's my y-intercept for question 3a. So I'm going to put a little plane. And before I forget, I'm going to sketch the y-intercept, okay, which is at a half. There. Okay, I'm going to label that my half. Okay, now I've also got to find the asymptote. Okay, so we'll go through the next bit. Now what the asymptote is when when x is really small in this one, this is going to become almost nothing. Okay? So when you get a really negative value of negative value of x, the 2 gets halved and halved and halved and halved and halved until it's almost nothing. Okay? So our asymptote is 0, because all of this goes down to almost 0 as x gets really negative. So I draw a line, and I label it y equals 0. And that's the y-axis essentially. Okay, sorry, the x-axis essentially when y equals 0. Okay, so my asymptote is y equals 0. Okay, now with these two facts, I can sketch the graph. Okay, I just need to have a look at it and think, is it going to go this way or that way? Okay, because that's important. So, looking at this graph, as x gets really big in the positive, this is going to become a huge number. Okay, so it's going to start up here. Okay, then as it gets really small in the negative, it's going to hit that asymptote. So it's going to look like that. Okay, and that's 3a. Okay, now I'll take you through the domain and range part. Okay, the domain is all the values this could be for x. Okay, so anything it can be for x is the domain. So the domain for x is domain, and that's everything. X is all real values. The range is all the things y could be. So the range is y is greater than 0. Okay, and that's that question answered. Okay, moving on to question J. Okay, I'll do exactly the same procedure. This will just be a little bit more sort of going on. Okay, now if you'd like to pause the video now, you can have a go at J yourself. Okay, then come back and see if you're right. Okay, and if you get the answer right, happy days, move on. If not, you can see the steps that you may have missed. Okay, So assuming that you've had a try, the first thing that we do is just find the y-intercept, okay? And that's when x equals 0. So I'll just rewrite it. Okay, I'll get rid of previous stuff. Okay, minus 2 to the 0 plus 2 plus 1, y equals. Okay, so minus 2 to the 0 plus 2, 0 plus 2 is 2, so minus 2 to the 2, y equals 4. Oh, sorry, y equals negative 4. That was my bad. Okay, 2 to the power of 2 is 4. Okay, but notice that this is just 2. This is not sort of minus 2 squared. It's just 2 squared and the negative value of that. Okay, then I add 1 to it. Okay, so y equals minus 3. Okay, just on that 2 bit, for this to work, I need to assume that all of this stuff is the one thing, then it's times by minus 1 at the end. Okay, that's how I get the minus 4, and minus a minus doesn't turn into a positive. Okay, then we've got to find the asymptote. Okay, just draw a graph and sketch the minus 3 so I don't forget. Okay, now the asymptote, as all this stuff in the yellow brackets tends to nothing, I'm just going to be left with the plus 1. Okay, all of this stuff is going to head to nothing. I've just got plus 1. So plus 1 is my asymptote. Okay. Now, just to work out where it goes. Okay, I've got an intercept below the line, and because it's a negative, that's cool. Okay, so what I can do is go when this is a really small value, when x is tiny, okay, all of this goes to, sorry, when x is tiny, all of this goes to its asymptote, its natural 0, so the line starts there. Okay, then as it gets bigger, it heads to a massive negative that you're just adding 1 to, so it goes like that. Okay, so its domain is all x values, and its range is y is greater than, y is less than 1, because it can go close to 1, but it can't go over that red line. Okay, hopefully that took you through everything. Bye guys and girls.